B96, welcome to the J Show. We'd love to welcome, what a big guest today, Ice Cube's in the house.
Yay, yay.
I was gonna say yay, yay. You stole my thing.
No, you gotta let Ice Cube do the yay, yay.
I got you for this one.
Welcome to the Shy, Ice Cube.
Hey, man, I love the shot. Thanks for having me.
It's great. And we're talking about everything. It's been such a big year for the man. Let's talk Barbershop 3 for a second.
Yes, I loved this movie.
Thank you.
White girl from Wilmette, I
Show
loved
me-
it.
That's
I
right.
like this movie.
That's real.
And I'll tell you guys something.
You know it's real.
Cube,
Yes.
every time I go to the barbershop to get my lineup or whatever, I swear, Shelly, I always think, I go, what if Shelly were here? What if Shelly were at the you've never come to the barbershop with me.
No, I haven't
Gabe,
had
you
that
go to the barbershop all the
experience.
time.
Of course, all the time.
But you've never been there, so
No.
you got an inside look at what it's like to be in a barbershop.
Yes, and in Chicago, you
Yeah.
know. But the thing is, this movie addresses a lot of real issues that are going on today. You even use real news reports from Chicago stations to address the violence issue that's going on here.
Yeah, we wanted to do a movie. It's like, why do you do a Barbershop 3? You know what I mean? It's not just for the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Jokes are cool, and there's a lot of topics to shoot at. You know, a lot of things you throw it against the wall, everybody shoot at it. But we wanted to make it on real subject matter, and Calvin, son, Jalen is now 14.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He rocking the dreads.
right.
He could give a damn about it.
Chicago.
He can give a damn about a barbershop.
Exactly,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So,
Yeah.
I got to reel him in and get him from, he want to dibble and dabble into that street life. And I got to try to reel him in and, do what a father's supposed to do, step up and be there. And so it got that great message, but it's also funny all the way through. And it's just a great movie.
Well, it's not gonna be a barbershop without it being funny. We
Oh
know,
my
we
God,
know
Without a
it's
doubt.
so funny.
But I told people, I said that I felt like the trailer did more for Chicago than Chirac did in the
Yeah,
whole movie.
yeah, the trailer
You
Yes,
know
was
what I
it
mean?
did.
Just the trailer itself, it was that powerful.
Yeah.
We wanted to, do a movie. It is a comedy, but we wanted to talk about serious subjects, but not beat you over the head with it. We still want you to have fun. We still want you to walk out the movie with a positive feeling about, the situation and feeling like you empowered to do something about it, And I hope we achieved that. I think we did.
And there's like a bunch of nobodies in this film. I mean, you have Nicki Minaj,
Yeah.
Common, Eve is in there.
Oh, very low
Cedric
budget
the
there.
Entertainer, very low
extremely
budget for
low
this
budget.
one. Yeah.
Crazy. I remember the barbershop I used to go to was getting there and having video game tournaments. Like we get in there, we play Street
Right.
Fighter, we play Mortal Kombat, and like I would literally sometimes my mom would give me $10 to get a full haircut. But I'd only use 5 of it, just get a shape up. Use the other $5 on
Gamble.
video games. And gamble by $5. Do you have any early barbershop memories, Ice Cube?
Oh, I just going there, hearing all the old heads talk. I went to a barbershop when I was real young, and then, I started rocking the curls, so there wasn't no barbershop joke.
Right.
But just going there and just seeing that vibe of all these different generations, from the young generation to the teenagers coming through to the young adults to the old heads, and everybody conversating and talking about the same subject topics, and you get a lot of game out the barbershop.
Yeah,
I learned
it's a place for everyone to sit down and just kind of talk about what's on their mind for sure.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
get that from the
man.
movie for sure.
And barbers, barbers are, they like our therapists in the
course.
neighborhood.
Yes.
They hear everybody's story, and they always, usually have some, unless you got a crazy barber, but they usually have some cool insight, to tell you or to give you game, or they know a lot of people, they can hook you up on things. So, it's just it's cool to do a movie and kind of, give props to a staple of our neighborhoods, the barbers all over the country who keep us looking so fresh.
And they might know a girl that you were dating
Oh,
or
of
talking
course.
crap about in the chair. You know
Well,
what I'm
that's the
saying?
thing. You could either mention the girl you're with in the barbershop or just keep it to the chest because you don't know who has the info in there. You don't. Some things you might want to hear.
Yeah.
Some things you might not want to hear.
That's
You know what I
real.
So
mean?
much.
It wouldn't be a Ice Cube conversation without talking about Straight Outta Compton, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
And what a huge event for hip hop
Yeah.
and motion picture and yourself. First, I would like to say it's remarkable that we don't have kids in this room. But you had your son. So many times you see these movies and someone really whack plays you in a
Yes.
movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you had your blood, your son play you.
Yes.
When you're watching your son portray you, did it feel like you were watching a mirror image? Did he hit it?
Yeah, they all hit it,
Yeah.
to be honest. It's like we were cutting that movie And when we cutting it, we would take it home. I would watch it and figure out what I need to do when we get back in the edit bay. And I found myself drifting like, yo, this is not NWA. These are actors playing us.
Right.
This is not us we looking at. But these dudes did such a great job. I started to morph in and out like, yo, I got to shake my head. These are actors. This is not
that's wild.
us. And I felt like if it did that to me, the audience didn't have a chance. They had to fall in because it was just an amazing cast, an amazing movie. F. Gary Gray did a great job, and we just super proud of that movie. I'm very proud of my son.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He stepped up, and as a father, that's all you want your kids to do is step up in the moment of truth.
I can't imagine how proud you must be, man. That's
Dude, it's
incredible.
crazy. I'm more proud of him than the fact that it's a movie about our group, NWA.
Well, I'm sure he got to learn a lot about you as well. I mean, I talked to Jay about the movie, and I said, like, NWA was like a little bit before me.
Yeah.
I started listening to hip hop when you were coming out with, Today's a Good Day, all that good stuff. So to me, it was like a biography on you, kind of figuring out like, oh, damn, that's how he came about and got to that point. So for me, the movie itself it had a lot of different roles. Look at Jay on Snapchat.
Yeah, we're on
right?
Snapchat. For me, I grew up in New York, so we were like bred to not listen to LA West Coast.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of that stuff, when I first started hearing the West Coast sound, people were like, oh, that's that West Coast stuff. I was like, oh, yeah, that's that West Coast stuff. And now coming back and starting to appreciate the West Coast sound and what West Coast contributed to hip hop is like another experience for me.
That's cool. The movie is, for all generations, it got something to offer. For our generation, it's nostalgia. It's like looking back. It's feeling the vibe of how it was. For the younger generation, it's a learning, experience. It's like a history lesson in a way. And for the older generation who didn't understand what the hell we was talking about,
going on, right?
They now get a chance to look and see why did we make those kind of records and where it was coming from. So they get more of an understanding of music that they didn't really dig or understand at the time. So I think the movie just served a purpose for all generations to understand, the plight of, not only hardcore hip hop, but, how close it was to infringing on our First Amendment rights, as far as them going after the music. So it became, from a group just trying to do what they wanted to do and do it how they feel it, to a group fighting for the First Amendment rights of all artists, So, it was real heavy back in them times. And I'm just glad we was able to do a movie and show a little bit of it.
What were people in L.A., what was your perception of Chicago? I knew L.A. and New York had their kind of rivalry at the time, but were people talking about Chicago and like the Midwest back then?
Not as much because, it was still groups that was trying to break out here. It's like, Common at that time was really the only guy making noise in Chicago.
Right.
And then you start to see more and more acts come. I remember the first time we was coming to Chicago. I always felt like Chicago was like, L.A. or New York in a way that, you got to watch your back. It's be kind of rough.
Of course,
you know what I'm
course,
saying? So
course.
I remember the first time we was coming to Chicago in 1988. We were supposed to do the South Side Regal Theater.
Okay.
And man, we was a little, kind of PC'd up a little bit. We was kind of, really, really checking out the scene because we didn't know what to expect out here. You know what I mean? We was like, we heard about it. Let's see what it's all about. And it was a lot of love. It's always been love from day one with Chicago, and that's why I keep coming back, man. I love Chicago.
Chicago gets that influence. We have our own culture here, but we definitely get that East Coast and West Coast kind of, and some down south.
Yeah,
all in
it
one.
all merges right here.
Right here.
That's why I've used several entertainers, in my movies like Bernie Mac, Lisa Ray. It's just something about the Chicago flavor that makes me feel at home.
That's cool.
Common's in Barbershop too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, of course. It wouldn't be a barbershop without Common. Could you tell us about? Okay, so this is clearly not the hip hop station. This is the top 40 pop station. Do you remember the moment when you realized that your career had crossed over from the hip hop world into the mainstream pop world? You're like, whoa. everyone's listening. Do you remember that specific moment?
I don't really remember the moment because when you're doing hardcore hip hop, the last thing you want to do is cross over.
but
We have Ice Cube.
But it happens.
Yeah.
It happens when people like what you're doing. From all walks of life. But I think it was around the song "It Was a Good Day" '92. I realized that my audience was everybody. It was no color to the audience, and it's been a great thing. It's something I've embraced. The more and more I got into the game, I understand that it's all right. It's all right to cross over.
Are you ever on stage and you look at certain people singing your lyrics and you're like, whoa? Does it ever surprise you that certain people know your songs?
When I go out the country, when you go to like countries that don't speak English and they're all rapping your lyrics, it's amazing that people who don't speak your language somehow still feel your vibe, still feel your song. We go to Japan and they love all the lyrics and can't speak a lick of English. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get. It's like, wow, how could this happen? But it just shows the power of music, man. Power of music is a unifying force.
It's not lip service, it's real.
It's real.
It really is real. Cool.
Now, of course, you're here in Chicago. You said that you hung out with your buddy Common just the other night.
Yeah. Last night.
Did you guys have fun?
Yeah. He had it was his birthday, so they had a surprise party for him, and it was cool, man. Just hung out with my man, George Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
Uncle George.
Yeah.
He's his favorite.
The governor.
Of course.
The governor for sure. And it was cool just seeing some of my old shy friends.
So
Yeah.
what's on the way? Barbershop 3 is the big deal now.
Yes.
So what's coming after Barbershop 3? Is there anything else in the works we should be on the lookout for?
Oh, it's a movie I did with Charlie Day called Fist Fight. And it's a cool movie about two teachers who decide, after school, it's on.
I like that.
So
We've all secretly want to see our teachers go at it.
Funny.
So the whole day, Charlie is trying to get out the fight, though. He don't want none. So that's a cool one. But it's really all about Barbershop. The next cut, that'll be out April 15th, and we got this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing to do next month with NWA. Got inducted.
Yeah, you guys got inducted. So
Inducted,
you're gonna be going out to Cleveland for that. Is that
No, actually, they having a ceremony in Brooklyn, New York,
nice?
at the Barclay.
For the,
Okay, the
for
Barclays
the, LA,
Center is
for the
really
Cali group.
Yeah, and then
That's interesting. Cool.
yeah, I know that's funny. And then I guess they're gonna put everything up in Cleveland in the hall.
Very nice, very
Yeah.
nice. Thank you for coming by and giving us the
Nice.
time.
Oh man, thanks for having me, man.
This is a piece of history and a good friend of the show, Ice Cube.
Yeah, yeah.
Barbershop, the next cut.
No.
Yeah,
Let us do
yeah.
it. Let us do it. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.